What if I told you that brand growth isn't about how many people follow you, but how many people multiply your message? Today, I'm going to be breaking down a live customer journey from my brand, going from a complete stranger to a 5-star review, and showing you why multiplication is a real indicator of brand growth. If this isn't happening, you're just not building long term brand value. You're just being transactional. So let's get into it. So before we start, we want to first understand what is an opportunity. Have you ever heard that quote, opportunity is dressed in overalls and disguised as work? And that is so true. And I'm going to show you why in this episode. You see, most people focus on getting new customers, and few focus on multiplying customers. Once you get the sale, that's when the true test begins. Our entire goal at that point is to get them to become a fan and to talk about our brands to everyone that they come across. So they become the ultimate salesperson for your brand. That is the true measure of a great brand, is when others are advocating on your behalf. If you only focus on sales, you're playing the short game. That might give you benefits today, but it will not give you benefits tomorrow. If you create an experience for your customer, you build an engine for long term success that feeds into itself. This breakdown is about understanding how each step contributes to the multiplication effect. So let's go ahead and start with what puzzle pieces needed to be in place for me to be in a position to even have a great product. So, first of all, there's 20 years of professional experience under this hood that you won't see at first glance. A ton of trial and error, and lots of people that didn't turn into fans, advocates, or referrers. So basically, it was a transactional event and it stayed there. And then confidence in myself and my value. People underestimate how big of a role confidence plays in growing your brand because you're essentially having to sell yourself, and how to do that without feeling salesy, without feeling cringe, without feeling inauthentic. There's a lot of emotional pieces to the puzzle of confidence. So definitely do not underestimate how these play into having first a great product. After having a great product, what was happening for the opportunity to start? What I want you to picture when I talk about opportunity is the ripple effect of that first domino. You set in motion this ripple that just feeds into each other. And that is what we're doing here while we're breaking down this opportunity. First of all, there's has to be a person involved, right? There's somebody that is starting the domino effect. And I had to have a good reputation with the person, right? So that's puzzle piece number one. Then I had to have a great product that's ready to be purchased. It's easy to purchase it. Everything is very simple and seamless. And then I had to be staying top of mind with person one. There's two ways that I do this personally, which is through organic content and through warm outreach. In this case, we did a warm outreach with this person one. Then this was a non-agenda conversation. They're not always like that, but this one was that led to the referral from person one to person two. So here we have person one. Person one's like, hey, I really think you should talk to person two. Then keep in mind that between person one and person two, there's time in between, especially if you're meeting up in person. And this was a meet in person with person two. So then person two's like, you know what? I love what you're doing. I think person three would be very receptive to what you're doing. Another gap of time in between person two and person three. And we also met in person. And the other thing about this is that at any moment, this can fall through. They can cancel. Something came up, right? Like it's happened so many times before. So that's why I make an emphasis on that. Then person three is like, you know what? I think person two is going to be perfect for you. And so now we have three people before we get to person four. Person four ends up wanting to talk further. So they book a call and we assess the fit. Where I'm at in my business is that I want to understand my customers very deeply. I'm still getting to know who my customers are, who buys from me effortlessly, and all these important things. So I want to be very hands on in this process. This process cannot be outsourced because this is my brand. So I need to understand this stuff very deeply. And if I don't understand it very deeply and it's my brand, then how are others going to understand it very deeply, right? The call went great. She was like, I love everything that's happening. I would love for you to tell me what this looks like. And so I sent a proposal via email. They accepted. They were like, I'm in. I want to buy the product, which in this case was a 2-hour high impact workshop to map out their growth engine for 2025. Then I sent them the invoice. And even this, even though all of this has happened already, they may not pay the invoice. They may disappear. They may say something came up. So ideally, you do want to close them on the call and make that immediate. But this is my manual process and I'm kind of judging it by case right now. So it's a little clunky and it's okay if it's clunky. Once again, you're not in a position, if you've never done this stuff before, to be automating anything because you don't know even what's happening or what to automate. And so I do know that this process can definitely be refined moving forward. But they paid the invoice. So cha-ching. And so the moment that we go from initial referral to invoice paid, that process in itself is the process of acquiring a customer. So that's stranger to customer. And then this becomes your first system. This is your acquisition system. And although this system is a little manual and a little clunky, it gives me a really great foundation from where to start and work from. So as more customers come in, I'm able to refine this as I go until it does become very automated in the future. And just to give you what this looks like at the 30,000 foot view, once you have a dialed in customer acquisition system, you're able to now predict your marketing dollars. So if you put $1 in, your system, your machine can give you 5 back. And that's the minimum basis of a really good dialed in system is a 1-to-5 ratio. So that's stuff that I'm still learning. I'm still trying to understand. I am building in public. So, as I'm failing and succeeding, I will share that with you because that is part of the game. Part of the game is that you are going to fail a ton and succeed only a little bit. But because we're playing the game in this way, whenever we do succeed, that's 100x, 1000x. So it offsets all of the losses because the wins are so big. And that's ultimately the game that we're playing. So moving on, now the invoice is paid. A lot of people just celebrate this part. They're like, this is awesome, and then forget about everything else. But the thing is, and now the real work begins because now we have to deliver the service. And here I try to make everything very simple for my customer and to give them a superb experience. So at this point, after they give me money, I want to make it as easy as possible for them to get the win, get the results. Here, I create a landing page that has where to book the workshop. So you click on this button to click the workshop. Then you have the form to fill out because I want to have as much information as I can from them so then I can come really prepared and we can maximize those 2 hours. And it's just high impact every single minute that they're on that workshop with me. And then I put here as a bonus to take the personal brand quiz, but actually moving forward, I am making them take the personal brand quiz as part of the onboarding process because I want to understand what type of archetype am I attracting so then I can better refine my messaging towards them. So that's a little trick that I'm doing. And so this becomes then your onboarding process. So they receive this via email and then they are supposed to complete this within 24 hours of the prior to the workshop. So whenever they chose to book, whatever date they chose, 24 hours before this needs to be filled out. Then after that, what do? We deliver the service. That's the 2-hour workshop. Then after that, the way that this workshop is designed is so high impact that I literally make sure that they're raving about this by the end of it. So they're like, oh my gosh, I got so much from these 2 hours, and it was extremely high impact. So at this point, once we're done, within minutes, we send them the map, the custom growth engine map in this case, and a link to the Google reviews, because you want to make sure that you're sending these reviews at the height of their excitement, of their win. They just got a win. They just got a map telling them, hey, this is what you need to focus on if you want to achieve X amount of growth this year. You don't have to look elsewhere. This is it. So that leaves them really happy. And so once the service is delivered, that is when the second system is now completed, which is your delivering of the service. So you actually have two systems within this system, but I like to keep everything as condensed as possible for you so you can see it clearly and easily. But technically, this is the onboarding system, and then this is the delivery system. So it's a 2-in-1. Once you've given them everything that they paid for, that is when the delivering of the service has been completed, and so your second system has been completed. And then this is where the actual magic happens. And this is why we do these things for, is so they can give us 5-star reviews. And so this customer not only gave me the 5-star review, but they gave me exactly the type of review that I want to get more customers from. Because remember, this is not about just getting any review. This is about getting the right type of reviews that are going to attract more of the people that you want to work with. So in this case, a true wealth of knowledge, holistic approach, actionable practices, not only your work, but your well being, monetizing their platform that's aligned with their goals, values. Like this experience felt incredibly empowering. These are the things that I want my products, services, and programs to do for our customers. So this is a banger review. And this is a review that now I can be showing different people that are interested. I can embed it in my website. I can do so many things with this review because now it's coming straight from the customer's mouth. And people buy from people's experiences. So I love this. And that's why this is not just about any review. This is about the right type of review that you want your business to be known for. Then after so that's the first thing, is right, creating a review. First thing. Then the other way that this gets even better, which all of these are bonuses. So this should be where minimum you're going from stranger and acquiring the customer to a 5-star review, right? That in itself is already, you're hitting on the brand growth levers. But to add additional fire to this customer wrote a public post about their positive experience, and they have like 37,000 LinkedIn followers. So they have a much bigger audience than I do. And that is also what you want. You want to be tapping into other people's audiences. So here they are talking about me in the right title that I want them to think of me as, brand architect, talking about my company, saying things like powerhouse, helping mission driven entrepreneurs and creatives. Like this is spot on with everything that I want to be known for. And so that is what makes this even more powerful. And so she shared that with a nice little picture to her audience, and that was awesome. Then here, additional things that may happen down the line are referrals and then buying more later. And this right here is where brand growth happens. It's in the multiplication. If our efforts and delivering our products, programs, and services are not leading to this multiplication, then there's probably something broken in our product, or the way that we're delivering our product, or the way that we're creating the experience. So, this is essentially that customer journey from stranger to multiplication, to 5-star review, to positive public post. And within this is already minimum 3 different systems that are working into each other. And as time progresses, we can start automating it once we have a very repeatable template about this type of customer is going to react to these words, and these words are going to make them take these actions. And that's how nitty gritty we want to get with it. And that is what makes us architects of our brands, is because this is not just about we're delivering a service or a product. We are legit crafting and curating and sculpting every single part of what they're experiencing. It's not just about creating content or creating a business. This is something much more deeper and much more powerful. If you found this interesting, I have another video talking all about the interconnectedness of a personal brand and a business brand. And I would love for you to check that one out as well. I'll see you in the next episode of the Brand Architects Lab. Peace.